Strength isn't loud, it's built in the quiet. Growing up on a farm definitely taught me a lot about work ethic and discipline. There'd be a lot of times where my dad would get my brother and me up like 4 or 5 in the morning to go help him load pigs. You know, when you have to get work done at the farm, it's gotta get done. I think I realized that my life on the farm was helping build my athletic identity pretty early. I would say like even in high school or earlier. We had morning strength and conditioning before school, and then go to school and then practice afterwards. And that routine for me was kind of just normal to always do it every day, to get up early and not sleep in before school, just because I've always been kind of used to that from farming my whole life. It's 7 days a week. There's no, you gotta work on Christmas and holidays, and when there's bad weather, the animals still need taken care of. So it's kind of similar in CrossFit. Like, it doesn't matter Christmas or holidays or whatever, or social events. Like, you still have to get your training done. Consistency is really important in the training routine. So that's helped me a lot. Which is like, no matter what day of the week it is, if I have training to do, I just go and I get it done, and that's always kind of the priority. I think be a little bit physically tough, especially when you have to work outside in the winter. That's always the hardest. The worst thing ever is when you have to get up at like 4 in the morning in the winter and it's really cold out, and you know that you're gonna be out in the cold all day. Helps with a little bit of like mental fortitude and being able to work when you're uncomfortable. But these two have grown. I didn't think they were gonna grow. When I get back from a competition, usually the day I get back, I go back to work on the farm. So that makes recovering more challenging. I don't know, people underestimate, maybe they just don't understand, I guess, what the workload is like to have a job doing kind of manual labor and on top of training.
I'd say, it definitely takes a little bit of patience, understanding the demands that both of those jobs have. They're both very time consuming. And then they also both have a very specific lifestyle around them. So kind of learning like how much time it takes, the kind of recovery it takes, the kind of food he needs to eat, and just making sure that all of those things are in line every single day is something that takes a little bit of learning. But once you get used to it, it's easy to figure out. And then also it just forces me to live kind of a little bit more organized life as well. So it's nice. In his work ethic, I would definitely say just his drive. He has like the strongest discipline and drive to continue to work hard, whether he's tired, whether he's been up for more than 12 hours, whether he's been working at the farm for 8 hours and coming home. Like, I've never been around somebody who will make sure the work gets done no matter what time of day, no matter what has happened that day. Sometimes I feel like he just trains and doesn't even eat sometimes if there's not much time, because he knows that he needs to get out there and move and get that work done. And he has zero excuses when it comes to anything revolving his work and his craft.
I started CrossFit in 2017. When I was a senior in high school, I had shoulder surgery after wrestling, and otherwise I would have wanted to start CrossFit sooner, but I was waiting for that to heal and get out of like the arm. So I waited until my second semester of college, my freshman year, and I just Google searched like CrossFit gyms near me and found CrossFit Kilo in Cedar Falls, where I was going to college at. And that was a really competitive gym back when they had like affiliate teams competing, and they had already had like individual games athletes. I think as soon as I started, I knew I wanted to compete and try and be a games athlete.
Colten Mertens and CrossFit Kilo.
So I just started working towards that, and I really never was sure if I was going to be able to do it until I actually qualified individually in 2021. So I had 2 years of trying and failing before that, between being on a team and making my first individual appearance. But yeah, it's always like, I don't know if I can actually do it, but I'm gonna try for sure. And then yeah, that was really really big moment to finally qualify in 2021. Been doing this for 8 years now, which is, it seems crazy that it's that long. I remember when I had first started, or was early into CrossFit, and I remember like Brent Fikowski saying he's been doing this for 8 years, and I was like, geez, that's forever. But now that I'm at 8 years, it feels very short. But yeah, my family likes watching me compete, and yeah, I like that they enjoy it. I was diagnosed with metabolic antibody disease. I had a flare-up similar to that when I was a kid, but at that time they didn't have a diagnosis for it. It was recently like labeled antibody disease that they hadn't studied much prior to that. I was kind of like, well, I was living with it just fine for like 10 years until I had my next major flare-up. It wasn't like a big shock, I guess. I was kind of surprised at how bad it got, how quickly. But I was immediately just kind of thinking about, well, first of all, I just wanted to get home because in the hospital for like a week, and they don't let you eat very good food or go outside or anything. I was pretty much just stuck in the bed, getting testing and treatment all day. So I just wanted to get home. I feel like once I got home, I could kind of make a plan for what I was going to do next. So I knew that I just needed to first get my body healthy and kind of see how I was going to respond to treatment and see how I started to feel once I started getting back to the farm and working out again. At first, I didn't think I was going to be able to compete, but I thought eventually I would get back, and yeah, ended up qualifying for the games again that year. So I think I just kind of tried to take it one step at a time and not think about too much like what the future was going to hold, because there's just so much unknown. So I just was really focused on like the immediate kind of day-to-day stuff, and trying to focus on like doing kind of the basic stuff like eating well, sleeping, and letting my body recover.
Honestly, I would say he probably lives life kind of similar to how he used to, but because he was always so diligent with how he did things, he always made sure that everything that he did day to day was revolved around getting him to be the best he could be at his craft. And so I feel like even though he did have to go through that really tough time, he was already living a life that was very focused around making sure that he made proper decisions so that if anything did happen, he could come back from it. And I think that just kind of further solidified those thoughts in his mind to make sure that he continued to, eat properly so that he limits any sicknesses that happen, get enough sleep so that he limits any fatigue that he could experience. Because now knowing that he has this underlying condition, he's a little bit more aware of it. But that just kind of heightened those senses, I think.
what drives me to keep improving each year. It's really difficult in CrossFit because every year you're like, at least I think like, man, there's no way I could have trained harder than that. But then I do the next year, and then it's kind of like just a constantly evolving thing.
Colten Mertens, CrossFit Games, open 25.2.
3, 2, 1, go.
We're always trying to push your body physically, but also mentally to try and get more intensity out of each session and just be there mentally for all the little stuff that doesn't seem important at the time, like the warm-ups or the cool-downs, the accessory pieces. I always kind of have a growth mindset, and I always want to be better than what I was last year. And I think something I think about a lot is that your time in this sport is pretty limited, and you never guaranteed the next season. And even the best athletes who qualify for the games in their early 20s, you might only get 10 good seasons to really compete and give it everything you got. So the clock is always ticking. So I don't want to take any of that time for granted.
3, 2, 1, go. I see him being a dad that's teaching his kids, the ways of hard work, whether it's in your job, in school, in sports, probably showing them the ropes on the farm, showing them the ropes when it comes to sports and stuff like that, but just being very involved. Also just trying to continue to set up a really nice life for our family. He's really good at future planning with that too. So yeah, I guess that's where I see him, on the farm probably.
I'm Colten Mertens. This is who I am.